Hey, Life Coast, it's Monday morning, and what a great message from Pastor Brian yesterday. And I hope you really grabbed on to what he was saying there. I know I did. Very challenging. Um, and I just want to talk to you a little bit this morning about uh, a verse in chapter four. Chapter four, verse 4 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say, rejoice." But the next verse is interesting as it follows it up. Um, Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. The interesting verse talks about rejoicing, and that's glad tidings. That's rejoice in the Lord. Be happy that you're in the Lord. But then it gives almost a challenge that says, "Let your gentleness," and the Greek word there, epieikes, is a gentle fairness. My English Standard Version actually puts it as reasonableness. So let your gentle fairness be known to everyone. That's that's talking about something a little bit different than just gentleness. Did you ever know somebody in your life, maybe a coworker, maybe a boss, maybe a family member, who had a reputation for being angry or difficult to talk to or unreasonable? And before you went to talk with them, or you had to, you got anxious about it. Um, I know when I was working nights at the prison and I had to sleep during the day, I remember my boys saying the scariest thing ever was having to wake Dad up to tell him something. I didn't wake up too good, and because I didn't sleep too good, sleeping during the day, and so that fear, that anxiousness that they had, just having to come and wake me up for something that had happened. Um, I felt bad that that happened, but I didn't wake up well when I was woken up early. Um, but that kind of anxiousness is because of a reputation, because I didn't wake up well. And so they were anxious about that when they were younger. But what could happen if you had the reputation for being gentle, for being reasonable? That draws more people into your circle. It draws trust. When people are struggling with something, when they're anxious, when they have issues, when they have questions, they your reputation for being reasonable draws them to you. And for someone who's rejoicing in the Lord, that we have glad tidings, that we're so excited about being part of the Lord's family, and now we have a reputation for being reasonable, that people want to come to us. Why? Because the Lord is at hand. And more people are going to be looking for answers. And guess what? It's us, part of the God's family, that we should be the people who are reasonable. And that kind of ties right in with even Pastor Brian's message. There's people who are anxious about all kinds of things going on in the world, whether it's the virus, whether it's the social distancing, whether it's whether we should wear masks or not wear masks. The political atmosphere is just crazy. It's very divisive. And so are we people who could be reasonable? Doesn't say you can't have an opinion. Doesn't say you can't uh, choose wisely for yourself, but also, are people going to come to you for advice? Are people going to come to you knowing that they'll get godly advice and godly insights? Why? Says it right there. Because the Lord is at hand. Let me give you a challenge. Look at yourself and say to yourself, what is my reputation in this world? Maybe you got a word for it. Maybe it's easygoing. People think I'm easygoing. People think I'm funny. People think I'm fun-loving. People think I'm stingy. People think I'm generous. Whatever that reputation is, you self-assess and you say, I think this is my reputation. Now I'm going to ask you to take one more step. Go to somebody you trust, maybe this week, maybe even today, and say, what do people say about me? What's my reputation? If you really want to know what your reputation is, don't ask yourself, ask somebody else. I've done that in my life. Sometimes I didn't like the answer and I made changes. But I also know that my children have said to me, the dad we had then is not the dad we have now. It's the tale of two dads. Because my reputation in Christ has meant more to me than my reputation as a correction officer, as the guy who worked in the prison, Lieutenant Barksdale. Because God's child, the Christian, the Christ follower in me is way more important. And I hope that my reputation has transformed from being someone who might be upset or angry to being someone who is reasonable because I have the Lord's gentleness and respect because my spirit has changed. I leave it to you. Go ask someone who you know. Take the challenge. Find out what your reputation is. And I hope that it's a godly one. Have a great Monday. Love you guys so much.